Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 4 of the Love, Death, and Movies podcast. My name is Byron, aka The Notorious, aka Letterboxd List God, aka Better Than George Carmi, aka Very, Very Tired. I am joined, as always, by Ash and Harry. Guys, how are we getting on?
Your energy is peaking right now, Byron. I just need to take it down a
Mm.
level. That's what I read. Like you're a bit too much right now. A bit too much right now.
Too excited.
Too excited. Ash, how are you?
I am doing well. It's Saturday for me, so I'm happy it's the weekend. Can't complain. Had a bit of a long week at work, but I'm not going to think about that now because now it's the weekend and the vibes are good. So
Not gonna think
I
about
am
that.
chilling.
Hell yeah, nice.
How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I had a really good week at work. To be honest, I was kind of like it was a good week. No, it was just we're kind of like getting to the end of the year, which is like the end of the peak busy season, which is awesome. I got to watch a couple of great movies in the cinema, which was awesome. Which we'll go through, of course. But I was actually a bit sick this week, which is okay, But it's well, everyone goes through it. It's just a bit rundown. I'm always like, I never like as soon as I start to feel sick, I'm one of those guys like straight away go to the doctor and get on meds because it's like it just there's no reason not to.
Then
You
you're unlike every other man I've ever met.
Yeah, and also in Australia we've got a little thing called healthcare, so why not use it? And yeah, instantly better right now, which is kind of awesome.
I also forgot that I was sick too. It went away from my brain. So
It's been a bit of a week. Byron,
I
how are
don't
you?
get sick. I don't get sick, like,
That's
ever.
bullshit. That is
Nah.
bullshit. I've known you and you're sick. That is absolute bullshit.
How many times has it happened? Like twice? Like actually
Okay, well
sick?
that's more than never.
Yeah, but fuck you.
Oh man,
Um,
how are you doing this week, bro?
yeah, yeah, some ups and downs. Kiwis absolutely
I saw.
slaughtered Australia yesterday. Record breaking, biggest gap for scores, 30-0. Was pretty stoked about that. Although I was rather disappointed because where they played isn't like a big, like, well-known area. Well, it's well known, but like there was the stadium was fucking empty. I was like, it was pretty sad because they had some emotional interviews after the game, and they all just looked like,
Look,
yeah. So that was pretty unfortunate, but the score was great. Um, was able to catch some UFC this morning, which was nice. Not overly excited to the card, which is why I don't mind missing it at the moment.
nice.
Um, but yeah, it's a decent week.
That's good.
So I'll give you the quick rundown of today's episode. So Harry and I will be reviewing Gen V Season 1, the boys spin-off show. Harry will also be sitting down with the director of The Cost, a movie released this year, Matthew Holmes. We'll be going over movies that deserve sequels, surprises of 2023. We'll also be talking about the latest drama over at Marvel Studios, and we will be ending things off with movie trivia titled Ash's Revenge.
that's
Oh,
right.
here we go.
Uh, but as always, we start episodes off with what we've been watching. So, Ash, I'll kick it over to you. What have you been watching? Anything good?
Yeah, actually, well, the last couple of days have been fantastic, but emotionally, not so much
Yeah,
with
you
the
need to
movies I've
settle
been
down, Ash.
choosing. Um, but this past week was, included Halloween. So let's see, I did watch It Follows the night before Halloween rewatch. Still a banger. And then I
Absolutely.
watched Halloween Town on Halloween. It's cute, nostalgic. It's not anything to write home about, but it's a staple for my childhood. So yeah, that was on Halloween. And then I jumped straight into totally different vibes, starting off the 1st of November with Grave of the Fireflies. So I really built myself up to break myself down. First watch for me. And that movie absolutely wrecked me. I watched it like right before bed too. So of course I couldn't
Grave
sleep.
of the Fireflies just before
Yeah.
bed.
Yeah.
Jesus. I'll give you my email for my therapist.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Luckily I already have one. So I think I'm good.
Yeah, good. Good.
But yeah, and then I watched Uptown Girls and then started Harry Potter rewatch last night. So I've got just the Philosopher Sorcerer's Stone and we'll continue that tonight. So yeah, it's been a solid week for movies for me.
Awesome.
Harry, you been watching anything?
Yeah, man. So on Halloween, I got to go to the I've said this multiple weeks. So my local theater does a lot of retro stuff. And got to actually go see the original Halloween there, which was awesome. It was so
That's
cool. Seeing that,
that's fun.
seeing that in cinema was awesome. I saw some quite average stuff. I watched Old Dads, that new Bill Burr film. It's literally Bill Burr yelling for 2 hours, just about millennials.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, which is good, but I feel like it overstayed its welcome. So there was some parts that are actually hilarious, but it's 2 hours of the same joke. I finally watched Totally Killer on Prime. Just a fucking average film. Like just a
I feel
movie.
like I built it up maybe for you a little too much, but I told you I only gave it 3 stars, so it's
Yeah.
pretty generic.
Oh yeah, I gave it just below that. I gave it 2.5, but I was like, I just don't care about anyone in this film at all. I like the things that they were doing with the time and like the discrepancies and stuff. That was cool, but like, yeah, I just felt like they went they swung for the fences, but for me they missed. I rewatched a movie that I love that not many people have seen. Come to Daddy. Have you seen this with Elijah Wood? It's I
I'm
saw I
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What was the title?
Come to Daddy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
it's Elijah Wood and it's really, really good. It's a fun time. Like I'd give it like a high 3.5, low 4. Um I saw this at Sydney Film Festival a few years ago, and it's Elijah Wood that he has an estranged father that he hasn't seen for years, and he goes and visits him because he's written to him to kind of come visit me, and he goes there, and the dad there's this whole mystery around this dad in this secluded home, and it's really just well done. It's just a lot of fun. I love that, but that's everything that I've been watching. So over to you, Byron.
Yeah. So it might surprise you that I have watched next to nothing movie related. So I watched episode one of Invincible.
Nice.
That was fucking dope. I also finished off my watching of Gen V, obviously episode one. As far as movies go, um, so in my October, I rewatched Your Next.
Good
Um,
movie.
Probably one of the most underrated slashes out there.
Mhm.
Um, I I wrote my review, and typically when I write my reviews, I already have a score in mind. I got to the end of it and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna give it 3.5. And and then I writ my like when I write reviews, as soon as I like think of something, I'll write my exact words that I thought of. And I said, fuck that, giving it 4.
Nice.
I think Your Next is great. And then I watched Mayhem, which I recommended to you guys. Um, a movie that definitely lives up to its name. And then to end October, I watched The Silence of the Lambs. It was my first rewatch of that movie, believe it or not.
It's a
Wow,
great movie.
so
That's
good.
yeah. What'd you give
Yeah,
that out of 5?
10. Um,
Correct answer.
and then I watched 28 Days Later.
Great zombie
Another
My
movie. That's
banger.
so
my It was my favorite movie from the year that I was born.
you were born when that came out. Fucking
Okay,
Christ!
well,
I
I
saw
just
that in
feel
the
like I got
cinema.
aged.
That's why I thought I'd add that little bit. Yeah, 2002.
Jesus Christ! You were born after Fellowship came out.
Yeah, correct.
That's nuts.
This is correct.
You were born the year that Attack of the Clones came out.
Okay, we get it.
That's nuts to me, Ash.
We fucking get it.
You're telling me.
Oh man.
Sounds like a good week, though.
Amen.
Yeah, it was. I did have plans to watch other stuff, but stuff happened. I couldn't be fucked.
Yeah. What's next, Byron?
We're going to be jumping into our Gen V review.
Nice.
Now, this has already been renewed for a season 2,
Yep.
and deservedly so. Prime Video are, are just the fucking best at making superhero television. With 3 seasons of The Boys in, we're beginning a second season of Invincible, and now we've concluded the first season of Gen V, and Prime are not missing.
Right.
Gen V as a spin-off show is fucking up there with like some of the best ones I think I've seen. As a show itself, I think it's great. I don't think it's like next level groundbreaking at all. I gave it a 4 stars on whatever the TV version of Letterboxd is. Serialized or something.
Serialized.
Yeah, that. Yeah, so I gave it a 4 stars on there. I think this is very much The Boys. Um, if you like The Boys, you're more than likely gonna like Gen V. It carries over that same unpredictability of The Boys because you don't know what's happening. You might have a little bit of insight, but you don't really see the big picture. It's violent as all hell. I I think it actually rivals some of the stuff that they've done in The Boys. Maybe not season 3, but previous seasons of The Boys. Um, season 1, I think, is equally as violent. I think what stuck out to me about Gen V was how many characters they were able to have, and with only 8 episodes, showcasing next to every single one of them very, very well. And I honestly can't wait for them to return in season 2 and or season 4 of the main series. I think the way it ended is gonna polarize a lot of people. I've seen some reactions to it, and they're excited, but they're not happy that's how it ended. I personally didn't mind the finale, but all in all, I think it was just a really good series to kick the series off. I think it's one of the better first seasons for superhero TV ever, to be honest.
Nice, nice. Well, uh, actually, you haven't seen it, have you? Have you seen any of the boys?
I watched season 1 and I tried to watch season 2 and I just never could like really get fully into it. So
Cave.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So I watched every episode of Gen V yesterday. So I just watched it all in one go. It's only 8 episodes. It took me like 5 hours. So with people complaining about Scorsese films being too long, I did that easily. I really liked it. I was given the comparison with The Boys. Well, you have to compare it with The Boys because it's a spin-off of it. But I was given a lot of description about it going into it by some people around me saying that it's as good, if not better, than The Boys.
No.
They are fucking nuts.
No.
This is like, Byron, I know you say that for you this is on the level of season 1 of The Boys. This is nowhere near the level of the season 1 of The Boys for me. Like nowhere near. It's really good, really good. What season 1 of The Boys did was fucking outstanding. So compared to that, it's not the same league, but it's still like, for me, it's like a high 3.5, low 4. For a spin-off, it's awesome. It's great. It's a great spin-off. I echo everything Byron says about unpredictability. Brings that across, of course, but to a point now, we kind of predict that like just with camera angles as well, that you're like, no one's safe, and that's always in your mind now. Like you like not to get attached. They only had 8 episodes. I didn't love all of the characters. I didn't like. There's about like 4 characters that all have the same fucking power. Where it's like, oh, you're bulletproof and you're strong. They're all the same fucking power. And it's just like there's a couple of sentences where you're like, you may be able to beat me, but you won't be able to beat him. I'm like, maybe. You don't know. They both have the same fucking power. Like, who fucking knows? I didn't love that. There's a couple of powers that were awesome. There's this one power, Ash, that I think is the fucking best power that I think the whole series The Boys have, which is this girl that, like, she touches you, tells you something, and you're like you just do it. Like in your mind, it's like that's what you want to do. So there's this like one scene where she tells someone, touches him, and goes, "Go away and never come back," and they just never find him ever again. And like that's awesome.
It's overpowered as fuck.
It's OP. I
I would
love
love
that.
that
I
power.
love that power. Yeah,
It works on other soups.
yeah. I think that's awesome. The whole storyline I thought was just a bit too far fetched, and like for that sort of because this whole universe of the boys is supposed to be a grounded, realistic take of if superheroes are real, and this whole like this isn't a spoiler. This is in the first episode. This whole idea that this mental asylum slash scientific testing lab under a school is way too Stranger Things for me. I just didn't really vibe with that, but it is what it is. I kind of get it. It makes sense because like they what the show turns into, but a lot of the characters I loved. Emma is the roommate, right? I think she's the best character in the whole show. I thought she was fucking awesome. Her character arc was great. So the whole show I really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. But to say that it's on the boys level for me is sacrilege. It's a great spin-off, and it what it does best is that it scratches the itch of the boys until season 4 comes along.
Yeah. I think it was a good project to fill in the gap because obviously season 3 of the main series ended and all anyone was talking about was, oh my god, I need season 4 of this fucking show. So I think Gen V was a good way for them to extend the world that they created, but also still have time to actually put work into season 4 and make it meet people's expectations.
Yeah, and little tie-ins. I love the what this
Yeah.
does so well that I didn't touch on is the world building of the boys, like showing that this isn't just around the seven,
Yeah.
which is like the main 7 superheroes in the boys. That like this goes right down to like a school level, a university level of soups, which is really cool. And this whole idea of how soups become soups is terrifying and really creepy, but really well done. About everything that happens with their parents. So that aspect I fucking loved. But yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm shitting on this. I'm not. I'm just saying it because this was brought to me as like this is as good if not better than the boys, and for me it's nowhere near. But like it's still for a spin-off, it's great. Like this is still like if you like the boys, you're gonna like this. It's the same sort of humor. The writing's awesome. It's a really really good low grade show for me.
Yeah. I will say there's certain parts of I think the boys universe beat Marvel to it because this felt very especially the last episode. I won't go into details obviously because it's spoilers, but it gave off hardcore X-Men vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Marvel,
But I feel like they did that in
there's another one of
season.
your
They
problems.
definitely did that in season 3 of The Boys.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of soaps in that universe that are
Yeah, it's soups for yeah. Soups lives matter. Yeah,
they fit the description of what X-Men are.
yeah,
It's exactly what they are.
yeah. Exactly.
Um,
What's next, Tyron?
and now we're going to shoot over to Harry's interview, and now there will just be a random cut because
I can intro it. So I got the chance to sit down. I've been talking about this movie for weeks now, ever since I got to see it in the cinemas. This Australian white knuckle thriller that I got to see called The Cost, which is an awesome thriller coming out of Australia, made on a bare bones budget. As soon as I saw it, I fell in love with it. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was great. I love Australian cinema. I talk about it a lot on here. And if anyone is able to watch The Cost, absolutely go see it. But reached out to the director, and he was very lucky enough to sit down with me for an interview to go over how they make The Cost and basically why he made it and everything in between. So I sat down with Matthew Holmes. He's an absolute legend and also now a friend of the show. So thank you, Matthew. But throwing it over to Harry for an interview with Matthew Holmes, the director of The Cost. Hello, everyone. I'm Harry from the Love, Death and Movies podcast, and I'm joined today by the writer and director of the new Australian white knuckle thriller, The Cost, Matthew Holmes. Firstly, Matthew, thank you for your time today. It's a pleasure. Secondly, what a great movie you've made here. I've been singing its praises to everyone I know since I've seen it across my
Awesome.
content and in person. But welcome to Love, Death, and Movies.
Oh, thanks, mate. It's great to be on. It's great to be here, and I appreciate you spreading the good word and getting the movie out there for us. I think word of mouth is going to be the strongest card we have. So let's hope you and others are doing. That it's starting to spread.
Absolutely. Well, to give a quick summary of this film for the people that haven't seen it yet, the film centers around the fallout of the assault and killing of Stephanie. This happens in the past, and the man that did it, has been caught, convicted for 30 years, sent to jail, but is released after 10 years on parole. And the film picks up there, focuses on the brother of Stephanie and the husband of Stephanie, with their ambition to kidnap this man, torture him, and kill him. For me, Matthew, like, because I feel like film can be seen in multiple different ways, that this film focuses on two facets for me: the realism of revenge and consequences, and that can be seen through a multitude of different ways throughout the film. Well, firstly, where did this idea come from?
Where did the I? Oh, look, it came from a number of places, and it was motivated by a number of different things. But really, the idea first came from a newspaper article that I read about a man who had lost his daughter to someone who had murdered her, and that person was getting released early. So I thought it immediately just made me feel a lot of empathy for that man, and I thought, gee, I wonder if that man is going to try to, now that the guy's out of prison, do you think he'll ever hunt him down? And if he did, what would he do to him? And I thought that was just an interesting idea for a film potentially. So I just put it in the back of my mind. And then years later, when I was trying to come up with a very simple sort of 3 or 4 hander film that I could shoot very, very cheaply and with some good friends of mine, well, I was looking for an idea and I just came back to that. I was also quite affected by some high profile murders that happened here in Melbourne over the last decade since I've been living here, that very greatly sort of shook the Melbourne community, and there was a lot of outrage naturally about those. So I sort of drew on those sort of real life things, and then mingled it with, I guess, my own feelings of desires and that I have when I hear about injustice, but also about what I hear. Like I always hear in social media and threads and in just general conversation, you always have people say this is what they should do to people who commit terrible crimes, and sometimes it's quite violent. And I think it's interesting that even regular people think this way. So I thought that's sort of, I guess, the genesis of it. That when Greg and I started writing it, we really wanted to do a revenge film that hadn't really been done before. Revenge is so often presented as a noble or cathartic act, and we wanted to look at it through a lens that really was very, very realistic. These guys aren't ex-SAS or ex-policemen or ex-special service agents like Liam Neeson. These guys are just, one's a plumber and one's a software engineer, and they're doing something they've fantasized about, which seems very, understandable. And we wanted to look at it very, very realistically, and to see that, once you've pulled the trigger or once you've done what it is that you want to do, is it really going to be the fantasy? Is it really going to fix that hole in you that you think revenge is going to fix?
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, you touched on realism of revenge. For me, that's one of the ways this film shines, because you think of revenge in movies and it's very Hollywoodized. You think of John Wick mowing down thousands of people because his dog gets killed,
Yeah.
rightfully so. But what this film does is that it really grounds what revenge really looks like in the real world. Yeah, was that something really important for you to include from the get-go?
Yeah, that was very much part of our earliest conversations. Was we want to take people on a ride that's different to other revenge films, where you look at the humanity of it, and you look at the vile and the violence, and you have and to be confronted with it. In movies, it's these characters, they shoot somebody and then they walk away, and it's almost like what's for breakfast? There's no consequence, there's no humanity to any of it, and and the villains are always painted in such broad and evil terms that we accept the violence. But I thought, well, what if the
person that you have built up in your mind as evil, like the character of Troy, what if when faced with him, you suddenly realize that, well, number one, he's just a human, and number two, what if there's a lingering question that perhaps he isn't evil? Maybe he's just, maybe he is sorry, maybe he's repentant, maybe he was misguided, maybe, but then again, maybe he's lying. So I just thought, it's much more interesting to play in the gray than it is to play in the black and white world.
Hell yeah.
So that's what we that was always our intention.
Hell yeah. Well, this was, correct me if I'm wrong, this was made during the height of lockdown. Where people that don't know, lockdown season during the COVID era in Australia was gnarly, where every state kind of acted on their own accord. Different states locked everyone down separately. I could imagine making anything was impossible, let alone a film. So can you tell me about how difficult it was to make a film under those conditions? Because was it made in 14 months?
Yeah, it was. It was shot over about 13 months.
That's nuts.
Yeah, so it was. We started in February of 2021. We started filming. I actually had written it a while earlier, but again, lockdowns meant we couldn't start. And then we finally got to start in February 21, and then we got locked down again after we'd shot a certain amount of the movie, and then we got started doing a bit more. Then we got locked down again, and then even when we did get when we did finally pick up for our last bit of filming towards the end of 21, we were still dealing with crew members that suddenly couldn't turn up because they tested positive and had to isolate, and it was just all over the place. And it was very tricky. But what it did do is that it gave us time to cut pieces of the movie together that we had shot and start playing with it in the edit. And suddenly we would find things that maybe we could do a bit better, scenes that we rewrote and then reshot. And sometimes it gave us some ideas. The movie revealed some holes that needed fixing. So we could, so in one sense, it was a blessing in disguise because I think we got a stronger film out of it ultimately, but it was a very painful way of making a movie by stopping and starting all the time and maintaining continuity. And unfortunately, we did lose one actor who was a South Australian actor who was going to come over, and he couldn't come over to play his part because he just couldn't get across the border.
Right.
So, we had to roll with a lot of punches making it during COVID. I can tell you that, definitely.
That was for the role of Brian, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we had he was sort of a last minute call in because we just when it was time to start rolling cameras again, the original actor couldn't get over the border, which was a shame. But Clayton did a wonderful job anyway.
He was fantastic.
Yeah, so it all sort of works out well in the end. And like I said, I think the film's stronger for us having taken our time, but the process of making it was certainly arduous.
For sure. Let's touch on the actors real quickly because a film of like a small scope film like this kind of lives and dies on the performance of the actors. And I thought the three leads were exceptional. Where did you find them? Because it really felt like this film was written for them.
Yes, well, in many ways it certainly was written for the two leads. I've worked with Jordan Fraser-Trumbull before on The Legend of Ben Hall. We've been friends for a long time and been wanting to make films together. And so I wrote it with him in mind. And I also wrote the character of Aaron for another actor, Damon Hunter, who I had become friends with but hadn't worked with before. And so we really did have them in our mind's eye. So I guess when writing the film, we could, we sort of imagine them and hear their voices. So it was sort of tailor-made for them. And as we said, Brian was a call-in at the last minute. But Kevin was an actor we had to search around for. A few actors that we did offer the role to didn't want to do it because of the intensity of the role and the physical and mental.
It's a tough gig. It's
gig,
a tough one.
yeah. And so, but he, having played similar types of characters in the past, he was up to the challenge and gave us an audition that was amazing. So, I got very, very fortunate with him. And the rest of the cast, all the little walk-in roles, little additional characters, were all actors I've either worked with before or I knew, and I just asked them to be in it because I knew they were all, fantastic actors.
Awesome. Well, I asked this during the Q&A of the session that I saw you at in Sydney. But this film gave me so much anxiety. And I think you described it best when you introed the film, that you drive the audience to the cliff continuously, but you'll never drive them off it.
Yeah.
And this really just goes back to me for me of how this film is about consequences, because all of this anxiety-inducing scenes all focus on what happens if it doesn't go their way. Was that your intention, to keep me physically on edge for 2 hours?
Yeah, no, it really was. I mean, we didn't know if we could do it, but it was certainly was. Greg and I did want to make a film that at the end of it, you felt like you were completely strung out. We didn't want to let the audience off the hook at all, just like the characters. We really wanted the audience to feel like the characters. So, it's set in 48 hours. It doesn't really go outside of that except for one little flashback in the middle. But yeah, we wanted to. We sort of we thought of the movie, and we spoke of it when we were writing it as as one big rubber band, but lots of little rubber bands in between. So the whole movie was like a big rubber band that we just wanted to keep stretching and stretching and stretching, and keep that tension as long as possible before we release it. How long can we go before we release the tension? How long can we stretch it? And within every little scene, we approached every scene like, okay, every scene is a little mini rubber band that we're going to stretch as long as we can and keep that tension. Yeah, and that was just about making sure that every scene and every moment of the film, the stakes were constantly rising higher and higher and higher. So yeah, it's all very much by design, and we're just glad we pulled it off. We didn't know if it was going to work. We didn't know if we could maintain it, but we in theory we thought we could, so we just went for it.
Yeah, during my session, I messaged you about this, that like the police scene, the pullover scene, that like I still have flashbacks on it. But the guy sitting behind me, this is like one of the things I'll never forget from this year. When that scene finished, I just hear like him like sigh, go, "Christ!" Like, so like we're in for a treat. So you definitely succeeded there, man.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
You've touched on this already, but one thing that I love what you did is that you didn't overshow the violence.
Yep.
The scenes with Steph, the torture scenes, you continuously, again, you bring us to the cliff, but you don't drive us off. And that's kind of like the Jaws effect, right? Like how in Jaws, you never really, you don't see the shark much, but the idea of it is there, like in this case, violence. And in your head, the idea of it is much more terrifying than anything that you'd be able to show us. Was that important for you to not step too far into gore? Because you could have easily done that, but you didn't.
Yeah, no, I could have. I don't like gore personally. I'm not into torture porn films or incredible violence. I don't mind if a film has violence, but I feel like it needs to be justified. If it's just there for show, or if it's there for just to make people, I don't know. I didn't want to create disgust with my film, and I think James Cameron said it best, that you don't create horror with blood and guts and violence. You create disgust, and I didn't want people to be disgusted with the film, but I did want them to feel horrified and a lot of tension by what was happening. But I think what happens is there's enough movies out there that do go to the edge, that do show you really horrible things.
Yeah.
But I think in the audience's mind, they're already anticipating, oh no, this film's going to go there, isn't it? And it nearly does. But again, to keep the audience sort of in sync with the two characters, we didn't go too far, because these characters wouldn't naturally go too far. They're not psychopaths. They're just two ordinary guys. And even though they might want to do really violent things, they're ultimately going to be confronted with the reality of having to do it. Whereas if this was Wolf Creek 3, Mick Taylor has no problems in gutting people like a pig. Whereas these guys would have a problem with, they couldn't do it. Even if they wanted to, they couldn't go through with it. So it sort of was a way for the audience to experience the anticipation of it, but never actually have to go through it. And in the case of the scene with Stephanie and things like that, you had to understand the horrificness of his crime in order to get on side with these characters and what they're doing. But we also didn't want to, freak people out as well in the audience. So again, it's just about taking people to the very edge, but not push them off. Otherwise, you lose your audience if you push them off the edge. But taking them to, it's always scariest when you're teetering on the edge. once you've fallen over and plunging to your death, it's all over. So again, that's about maintaining tension because once you've crossed the line, you probably can't come back from there. The tension's now gone. So
Absolutely. Well, I think that flashback with Steph was kind of perfect, and I think that was perfectly placed as well because. Not to spoil the film at all, so I'll let the audience when they watch it, they'll completely realize that it's kind of it's like a reminder scene is how I would describe it, to be like, hey, remember this happened, and then like go back to the present day again. It's like, okay, that's how I saw it, and I think it worked perfectly for me because I started to sympathize with Troy for a little bit there.
Well, we found that when we were on a very 6-month lockdown period, and we were editing the movie, and we hadn't shot that scene with Stephanie yet. That flashback was not part of the original script, and we found that everyone we were showing the this half a movie to was just sympathizing with Troy too much, and they couldn't, even though they logically knew what the character had done, because the movie tells you what he has done, because they hadn't experienced it, they couldn't get into they couldn't feel the rage the way these two characters could feel the rage, and therefore their sympathy was completely with the victim, with Troy. So that's when Greg and I reassessed, and we went, you know what, we really need to see the crime. We have to bring the audience back into the minds of these two characters and make the audience understand what they're going through, why they are so angry. And that scene very quickly just writes it again and makes everyone go, this is why they're doing this. So again, and that just was born out of being able to play around with the movie as we were going and discover and let the movie tell us what it needed.
Absolutely. Well, let's have one more question for you. We here at Love, Death and Movies, we're 3 film lovers, but we're from 3 different countries. We've got Ash, who's from the United States. We've got Byron from New Zealand, who I still don't believe is a real country. And we've got myself from Australia. I've always been a massive advocate for Australian cinema across all my content. I think it's some of the most raw and beautiful storytelling there is. I'm constantly asked for recommendations. So I wanted to ask you, what are some Australian films that you would recommend to people that aren't well versed in Australian cinema?
Excellent Australian films that aren't well versed in Australian cinema.
Because my opinion is my first sentence whenever someone asks me is, don't start with The Castle.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, look, I like that film, but I don't think it's very popular. And also it's no good to tell foreigners about it because foreigners don't get it.
They won't get it.
It is such a unique film to Australia. The humor would just go over their heads. Australian cinema that I really, really love. Look, I think the works of Rolf de Heer are really great. I think if people haven't discovered some of the beautiful and wonderful films he's done, like Charlie's Country, 10 Canoes, The Tracker, The Old Man Who Read Love Stories, I think Rolf's work is really, really wonderful. And I think I know he's very acclaimed, but maybe now he's not working so much. I think people he may be a little bit forgotten. And I think his films, I would recommend people check out Rolf de Heer. He's got a wonderful style, and his film's always very unique. So, yeah, I'd say any film by Rolf de Heer you're always going to get something out of. So, and he was a great help and mentor to me in my early film career, and I learned a lot from him, and I owe him a lot. So, yeah,
that's awesome. Well, thank you, Matthew. You can watch The Cost anytime on Prime Video, Apple TV, Google Play, YouTube Movies. You can also own your own copy from JB Hi-Fi, Easy DVD, or Sanity. I got my copy, but I've also got another copy that I'm going to do a giveaway on our podcast around episode 10, so stay tuned. But Matthew, awesome. Congratulations on a great film. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and thank you so much for your time.
No worries. Thank you for having me on, and and good luck to whoever gets the free copy of The Cost. Hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, thanks, Harry. We're going to move on to Harry's topic of the week. We received some news last week, or this week rather. They Follow is the sequel to It Follows. So it brought up the question, what other movies deserve sequels? because It Follows was a movie that a lot of people wanted a sequel to.
I didn't want
And
a
now they
sequel. Can I go through? Can I go through this?
really,
I didn't want
yeah,
a sequel. I wanted a prequel. I had this whole pitch idea. Can I pitch you guys my prequel idea for It Follows? I made a video on this
yeah,
about a
hit us
year
with it, man.
ago.
Yeah, this is your elevator pitch.
Okay, so everyone here's seen It Follows, right? It's about STD, sexually transmitted demon. Where this whole it's a great idea. This idea of It Follows is fucking stunning. It's one of the best ideas of a horror film in modern horror, where like this demon at walking pace is always like going to get you, and this whole idea of like fuck, I can't remember the word I'm trying to say, but like that it's eventually going to happen. Inevitability is what it is. Inevitability. It's all about inevitability, which is awesome. And it goes from person to person. I want a prequel. All right, so like the cast your minds, guys. The setting is London. All right, old school London, late 1800s. Okay, so if like this picks up with a character we don't know her name. Let's call her Sally. And she's a lady of the night. All right, I'm saying words that we can say on YouTube. She's a lady of the night. Okay, and you know they all work in an agency together. So, but one by one, her colleagues are getting picked off and getting found completely gruesome murders. It's horrible. And she starts to like learn the history of the monster of It Follows, yada yada yada. But this can like continually happens throughout the whole film, and this whole legend starts happening around London of this monster that's come here and started to kill ladies of the night. And they eventually call him at the end of the film. They call him Jack the Ripper. And I think that would have been a fucking awesome little tie-in of a prequel to It Follows that was only killing people that is sexually active. So it would probably be around Ladies of the Night, around London, around that time. Jack the Ripper would have been a fucking awesome prequel. But I guess we'll take a sequel because I love It Follows. So for the news, director, thank you, Byron. Thank you. Please make that movie. I think that movie would be awesome. Director David Robert Mitchell is back with the main star of Maker Monroe. By the way, Maker Monroe, unreal. She's so damn good. If you haven't seen Watcher, go watch Watcher. I love.
I always say Micah. Is it Micah or Micah?
You might be
Mike
right. You might be right. I'm not too sure, to be honest. So I'm sorry if I'm saying your name right. I'm sure she's listening. Fan of the show. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're back with a sequel. They Follow. Love the title. I hope it's not I wouldn't mind actually if it's an Alien and Aliens sort of thing, or it's just more of them, which is probably what's going to end up happening. Which is kind
Well,
of
I'm curious about the timeline because it's been about 10 years, right? By the time
yeah.
it comes out. So is it going to follow her and she's like a grown woman now, like in her early
And
30s?
she's just fighting it off, sort of thing. She's just like, oh, that's a really cool idea. If it's just on the run. The whole movie's she's just been on the run for a decade.
Well, the first one, I mean, spoiler, I guess, people, I mean, if you haven't seen it, don't listen to this, but in the first one, it ends with just them walking
Yeah.
down the sidewalk.
Yeah, when her and Paul, is his name, Paul, get together, so that it's passed to him, but they're just together. But yeah, that would be awesome if it's like a whole story of her. She's just on the run from it, and then it kind of gets that hypothetical question of take $1 million, but a snail will always be following you, and if it gets to you eventually, then you die. And it's like, oh, I'll just take the $1 million and travel.
I hate that question so fucking much.
But it made a movie out of it, Byron. You love the movie.
No, that's the fucking snail thing, man. It's so dumb.
Why not?
It's a snail, bro. It's never gonna touch you.
But it can.
No, it won't. It won't.
But
It'd never happen.
But it can though, Byron. But it can.
No, but it won't. Yeah, but it wouldn't.
But it can though, Byron.
Yeah, but it wouldn't.
Right,
It's
That,
not
okay.
ability.
that snail doesn't have shit on the Notorious.
All right,
I'd own
gentlemen.
that snail. I'd stomp that motherfucker.
But if you stomp it, it doesn't touch and you die. Just letting you know.
More
why we
important question about David Robert Mitchell.
Yes.
Have you guys seen Under the Silver Lake?
No, I still haven't seen that. You've seen it though, yeah?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know.
So that's his other movie with Andrew Garfield, who you know I'm a huge fan of. I didn't like it as much as It Follows,
I've
but
heard
it's
that.
just as weird. Like it's got, another weird concept. It's sort of like what really happens when like male gaze really goes too far
Right.
and sort of a very toxic male that is very problematic, but it's a very interesting story, and the way that they intertwine a lot of messaging is really cool. And it's obviously in like Silver Lake in Los Angeles, so people that are like from California think it's cool because it's actually shot in areas, of LA. But yeah, I recommend it. I think it's solid. But anyways, that was just my way to get
No,
you two to
I'm
stop
like,
arguing about snails.
Yeah, sorry. So They Follow got announced. Awesome. We don't know much about the story at all, so that was just us kind of guessing. But it kind of just brought up the conversation. What's some other films that deserve sequels? So I'm just gonna like name one, and then maybe we can just go around the table. Each just name one.
I don't have to be.
Yeah. So, we'll shout out to one that's already announced for a sequel that I've been preaching this for a good decade. I'll use it as mine then. Is Constantine. I love Constantine. I love Keanu Reeves as that character, and for that to actually be announced as a sequel, I think that's awesome. Was that one on your guys' list at all?
No.
Okay, cool.
No.
Well, I'll take one. I'll take another one then, because the shout out to that one because that's already announced. One that I love this universe, and I feel like it needs to have another visit. I think it's rumored to, but no, it's been rumored for quite a while. District 9. I love that movie from Neil
That was on my
Blomkamp. Damn, yeah, sorry.
It was on my list as well.
But I love that universe, that whole political nature, and it's very like class divided. I think it's awesome, and I feel like we need a District 10. I would very much love that.
Yeah, I think that movie holds up super well. I just rewatched it in like the last 6 months, and even the CGI honestly holds up pretty well.
Amen.
There's some lines in that movie that always just made me start cracking up laughing.
Fucking prawn. Yeah.
Sweetie man.
Oh man, Ash, give me one.
I will give a quick shout out to one that is already also happening. That's what I thought you were going to say, and that's Beetlejuice, which I think people might be like, oh, why are we bringing that back? I'm a huge fan. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I watch it every year, and I am stoked about it. I love Michael Keaton and Winona Ryder, and Jenna Ortega joined the universe, which is just fantastic.
She's cleaning up.
Yeah, she really is. So yeah, I'm excited about that, but that's already in the works. So my pick is no big surprise to anyone who knows me, and that is The Nice Guys.
Yep.
Absolutely. Oh, shut up, Byron. No, you agree. That movie absolutely deserves a sequel. We'll probably never get it, but it would be my number one by far. They are so hilarious together, and I would love to watch them go on like their new business venture and just sort of take the town and just see what kind of cases they come up with.
Yeah, amen. I love that idea. I love that movie. You know how much I love that movie as well. Yeah, that's a great pick. Byron?
One for me would be Inception, with a caveat that only Christopher Nolan. I don't want anyone else touching Inception. If Christopher Nolan were to direct it, I would absolutely kill for an Inception sequel. What they would call it, I don't fucking know. 5 levels deeper. But
with Leo, because his character's kind of like sealed then, right?
Yeah, so it would take some working around. I think Christopher Nolan would be able to do it easily, because they had a lot of characters to work with.
Sure. Around
that movie. It doesn't necessarily need to have the exact same cast, because they're all dreams, so it's they can maneuver through different ways around it. But I think Inception, I almost called it Inception 1. I'm trying to just, the sequels, it's not fucking happening. Just
don't manifest too hard.
It's just a singular movie. Inception is one of the best pieces of science fiction ever.
Wow.
Yeah, ever. It's in my top 10 movies ever.
Nice.
So I know a lot of people don't like that, because I say it's the best movie of the 2010s too.
That's an opinion. People get so angry about opinions. It's so nuts to me. It's like it's your opinion. It's physically not able to say that it's wrong.
Yeah,
I get messages about opinions, and I just end up telling them to go fuck themselves. So yeah, Inception's definitely up there for me.
Nice. Another one I have, I'm a big sci-fi guy. You guys know this. Have you guys seen Fifth Element?
Yes.
I haven't.
love The Fifth Element. I've seen it in cinemas like 3 times because it keeps on playing in retro cinemas. Um, I love that. That whole universe is like a very like pop punky version of Blade Runner, which I adore. I think it's so sick. And I would love to see Coben come back, even though he's probably not. Hope you're doing well, Bruce. But that universe I think is too lively and too vast to not touch again. Ash,
Yeah.
have you got another one?
Yeah, actually, I had written down District 9 and you already mentioned it. So the only other one that I had on my list, and it's probably just a me thing, I'm sure other people would enjoy this too, but I'm a huge fan of Zootopia and I would love to
Awesome.
see a second one.
Yeah, I love Zootopia. That's a great pick.
It might already be in the works. I'm not sure. I
think it is.
haven't.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I think it is. I
Yeah,
think
it
it's
got
when
it.
they announced Toy Story 5 because we fucking
Oh,
wanted
okay.
that. They announced that, and then Frozen
You know what?
3.
I think you're right. I do remember seeing it now that I'm saying it out loud. But
Yeah.
okay, well then
You
I'm happy
manifested
that
it. You manifested it.
it was me that really made it happen.
Well
I
done,
sent
Ash.
the energy to the universe and they announced it. So yeah, so I'll be pretty stoked about that. I think that Jason Bateman and Jennifer Goodman, or I can't remember her full
Look it
name.
up,
They play those voices just perfectly for the fox and rabbit. So yeah, I'm
Jennifer Goodwin.
excited. I got it right. Goodman?
Goodwin.
Okay. Good win. Okay,
Yeah.
that's right.
I'll give you 4 points for that. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, could
Gotta
you?
prepare for trivia, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. When Toy Story 5 comes out, put this in perspective. There's then 6 Toy Story. There's 6 movies in the Toy Story universe when there should only be 3.
Correct.
Yeah, just put it in perspective.
Did you like Lightyear? Did you guys like Lightyear?
I liked
I
it.
don't
I
watch
liked it
it.
more than most. I thought it was unnecessary, but
Oh, 100%. I'm never
I
gonna
enjoyed it though. I had a good time watching it. I think people hated on it, but
I was just curious because a lot of people think it's like absolute like shit.
yeah, no, I don't think it's absolute shit. Byron, give me another
That's
deserved sequel.
It's a George 0.5 out of 5. Yeah, another one I had was Mayhem.
Nice.
I think purely because like this might be the most definitely it's one of the most chaotic movies I can remember watching. I think it doesn't need a sequel like at all. I just want more of whatever the fuck this movie was.
Yeah.
I want more Samara Weaving. I want more Stephen Yeun. Just the concept behind this fucking movie. Like, please watch it. If you do, let me know because I'm so I might rewatch it tonight actually. And I don't rewatch movies like that back to back. I think Mayhem wouldn't necessarily benefit from a sequel because again, it does not need to be made. But fuck, I will eat a sequel up instantly. And then You're Next was another one.
It's a good one.
Another movie that I rewatched in the last week. I would only want a Your Next sequel is if it's the main actress.
Nice.
Apologies, I cannot
I'll get
think of her name.
Alright,
Erin is her
so
character's name. I can't remember her name.
Yep.
Sorry, but I would love her to
Shani
I'd love it. Yeah. So
That's
yeah.
Erin.
So I'd love her to come back for a sequel. I think she's actually one of probably the most underrated final girl character
Agreed.
in slasher history. And there's a lot. There's a lot. There's a lot
She
of
goes
final
through a
girl
lot.
characters. She's up there for me. I think she's fucking fantastic.
You know, just a fun fact in Your Next, the guy that gets an arrow in the head, you know that?
Yes.
That's Ty West, the guy that directed X, Pearl, Maxine.
fuck?
Yeah, I'm just looking this up now. Yeah, Ty
The
West.
fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, did you just find that?
Yeah, just literally because I'm looking up the cast for Your Next and see Ty West.
Oh, what the?
There you go. Little fun fact for you there.
I was
pal.
about to say I can't say that I know what Ty West looks like.
Oh, there you go.
Is he one
Oh
of the
my God.
brothers or is he one of the like significant others? Oh, I wonder if he's one of the guys that comes to like help.
Oh,
Yeah, maybe.
He's wearing a mask. Yeah.
this is
I'm looking at the guy. He's just got like
fuck, he looks,
an arrow in his head. But
yeah.
this is bad podcasting. So nice. You're next. Good. Do you have any others, Byron? I got two more.
Yeah, a movie that a lot of people wanted a sequel to, but it's not going to happen. Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
Although now I'm very high on Zombieland, as you guys know,
Yeah, we do.
and I wanted a sequel to that movie for so goddamn long. Zombieland Double Tap or whatever the fuck it's called, dog shit.
Yeah, don't like it.
Fuck that. I mean, it's not horrible. It's a 2.5.
Yeah.
But fuck you. Just fuck you.
Do you know the original idea for Shaun of the Dead sequel? Have you heard of this? It was that it was gonna go through zombies, not zombies, sorry, vampires, and it was gonna be called From Dusk Till Shaun. Yeah, so Edgar had I'm not sure if he'd written a full script, but he definitely wrote a treatment, and it just didn't go anywhere from there. But that title alone, I was like, I'm in. From Dusk Till Shaun.
I thought you just used that. I thought you came up with that joke and you were just trying to disguise it underneath
No, that's a
underneath
real
a
fact.
rumor.
That's a real fact.
Sounds like something you would say.
I've got two more. I love the 2012 Dread film. I think that movie's awesome. It's like a kind of like a Western version of The Raid. And I think that universe, and I want to go back to Judge Dredd. I love that character. And also one that you guys probably haven't seen. Maybe you've seen it, Ash. Do you remember Mystery Men with like Ben Stiller?
I don't think I've seen it.
Some other, I think William H. Macy. It's like these low level superheroes where like this one guy's superpower is that he can throw forks, and that's his whole power, and it's fucking awesome. I love that movie so much.
I'm looking up the movie cover right now, and this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
so it's not.
That's it.
So he can't throw metal. He can just throw.
From my memory, his main thing is like how like people can like it's like Hawkeye, but specifically with forks. It's like his thing.
Okay.
Like don't knock it until you watch it, Byron. All
What
right,
the fuck?
go watch a movie that you watched 2 days ago again.
Hey! Did you hear me say anything negative? No.
No, I didn't. But yeah, so I would love anyone that's seen Mystery Men. They would straight up be saying yes right now because Mystery Men deserves a sequel. I love that movie. It will never happen because Ben Stiller has better things to do probably. But yeah, Mystery Men would absolutely be my pick. Byron, over to you. Next topic.
Yeah, so now we're gonna move over to the main topic of the episode.
Are we? I thought we were doing the 2023 surprises.
Oh shit! So it's completely my fault. 20 surprises of 2023. Now the surprise doesn't necessarily mean good, because it can be surprising. Movies can be surprisingly fucking awful. So I'm going to jump into my first one because I'm going with Talk to Me.
Wait, so is this the topic? Are we like surprises? Like,
yeah,
I
surprises.
think this is my topic, right?
yeah.
Oh shit! Oh my god!
Byron trying to steal my
I'm
topic.
so sorry.
So yeah, I think the idea
fine.
is that we wanted to cover movies that surprised us from this year. So that could mean that you had maybe high expectations and it surprised you in a bad way, or you didn't even like have it on your radar for the year and you saw it and you're like, whoa, that's like my favorite movie of the year now.
Yeah.
That's kind of where my mind went, was just things that kind of literally took me by surprise this year, and that could be good or bad. So I have a couple here. I figured that we could just kind of go one by one. So I'll read off a couple of mine instead of going, one around and around.
Good idea.
I have Talked to Me on my list too, but I will let Byron talk more about that because we kind of talked about it last week on the Halloween episode as well. So I will skip on talking more about that. But I did find that to be a nice surprise of the year. But my main ones actually, the first one was Past Lives. I knew nothing about this movie going into the year. I had not even seen a trailer for it. I just started seeing everyone kind of talk about it and kind of start sharing about it. And I think you, Harry, might have seen it and told us that we have to see it, and he thought I would like it. If I remember.
I saw it at Sydney Film Festival this year.
Yeah. Okay.
I can confirm he did.
Yeah. So I think you might have been, you and maybe even Marta as well were like the first ones to tell me that you thought that I would specifically like it just with my, taste. So I ended up having to wait to watch it at home. It wasn't playing near me. And I sat by myself on my couch and I did not pause it the entire time. And when I turned it off, I was like, oh yeah, this is my favorite movie of the year. Without a doubt.
I knew it would be. I finished that. I'm like, this is an Ash film through and through.
Yeah. That movie definitely took me by surprise mostly because I just didn't even expect it. Like it wasn't like Barbie and Oppenheimer. I was excited about. I knew that I was going to probably like them. So to me, that's not a surprise. That's like, it met my expectation of that fact that I was going to love it. So this was one that really kind of came from out of nowhere for me. So I can't remember. Did you guys, I know you liked it, Harry. Byron, did you watch Past Lives and did you like it?
I did. Currently, out of the 90 movies I've seen this year, I believe it sits number 4.
Nice.
Just out of podium.
It's not top 5. I'm thinking about moving it up. I think it's like 4 or 5 at the moment for me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that Oppenheimer is like so far from me, like the best and biggest and like obviously like the most like, I guess it's not experimental, but just, the most investment of a movie that's come out this year that's definitely paid off. But Past Lives for me, it's a little more subtle, simple story, but it just emotionally affected me more. So that is where for me it jumps up. So yeah, that's my main one, but a couple that I will mention as well. Shout out to Missing. That took me by surprise. I think we watched it for our watch list book club and I was like, oh yeah, it's just going to be like whatever, just like searching, like it'll be fine, but I'm not going to, be too excited about it. I came out of it loving it. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. It was a great thriller. I think it was really under the radar this year. Nice. And then same with Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret.
Damn it, I had that on. Yeah, great pick. No. I'm glad.
Great coming of age story. So fun fact, when I was younger, I read a lot of Judy Blume books, like a lot. Learned a lot from those books. And this one is one that I never actually got a chance to read. So I actually did not know the story going into the movie. And I think it's kind of better that way, maybe. So I kind of just let the movie, I just kind of felt it as it happened. And Abby I don't know how to, help me with the name, Harry. You gotta look it up. But Abby was amazing. And obviously Rachel McAdams and Benny Safdie as the dad were also great.
How are you not mentioning Kathy Bates?
Well, Kathy Bates obviously is the grandma, is fantastic. She's always fantastic. No one's surprised by that.
Abby Ryder Fortson.
Yeah, that's right.
Fortson.
I think it's Fortson. Yeah.
Fortson, sorry.
So that one definitely was up there for me. I think I gave it a high 4. And then same with Blackberry, actually. That one also took me by surprise. I thought that was a really good biopic. I think it's my highest. Well, I guess unless you count Oppenheimer, I guess that technically is my highest rated.
Yeah, Oppenheimer's a biopic.
That's a great
one. Those are the ones that surprised me in a good way. So I will wait to talk about a couple negative ones. I'll let Byron, I'll jump back over to you so you can talk to me.
Talk to Me surprised me. I knew it was going to be. I didn't expect it to be bad in any way. I just think the possession narrative has just been done. It's beating a dead horse at this point. It's been done so many times, and so many movies have failed. I like to say that The Conjuring and The Exorcist are really the only two amazing possession movies.
Insidious.
Obviously there's a couple Insidious I have at a mid 4 stars, so it's still not quite at the level of those two, but I won't chirp on it for too long because we did talk about it a couple episodes ago, but I think taking that narrative and making it that unique was fucking wonderful. Using it as a drug.
Yeah, recreational drug I think is the best part of that fucking film.
It's wild how good Michael and Danny Philippou did with that. A couple other ones I had. No Hard Feelings. Surprisingly, I really thought this was going to be shit because I'm not the biggest comedy guy. I think comedy is one of the least consecutive not consistent genres, and it's probably the most polarizing genre. No Hard Feelings was actually funny.
Mhm.
I know a lot of movies shy away from certain jokes because the world's soft. So No Hard Feelings really caught me by surprise. And I think it's the funniest movie of the year for me, like
Nice.
Oh
by a
wow.
while too. Um, Sick was another one. I think Sick by no
Really?
means by no means a great movie, but I don't know what it was about it, man. Sick was just so fucking fun.
Oh,
I
good.
had fun with it
I,
too. I
I
thought
had
it was
fun
like
with
a
it, but I
fun
wouldn't say
slasher.
it's a
yeah,
surprise
I
of the
mean, no,
year.
look, I gave it a 3 out of 5. I do not think this movie was that good, but I expected like a 1 star here.
Okay.
Yeah, for a Peacock
It
original
looks
COVID
shit.
Yep.
slasher, it was
Yeah.
decent.
Okay. Yeah, I get with that.
Knock at the Cabin. When you're working with him, not. Um, yeah, I never knew where my expectations were with this one. This one actually landed a pretty solid 4 stars. On rewatch, I might even up it to a 4.5. I
Oh
think it
wow.
was. I think it was that good.
Nice.
And D&D.
Nice. I like that pick.
Fun
That's
Um,
movie.
I do have a friend that's into D&D, and I give him the most shit. Um, but good movie.
I'm into D&D. What are you gonna say
Nothing
to
wrong
me?
with being a nerd.
No,
Yeah.
no, no. You're
Yeah. Are
you're
you?
right.
Are you? Are you?
Oh, I respect you, Harry.
Don't yuck someone's yum.
Max, if you're listening.
Hey, Max
Well, if he's
listens.
listening, he won't be able to see that finger, so
Yeah.
he'll have to be watching.
Yeah, bad podcasting there, Byron. Jesus. Um, nice, Byron. Yeah, I got you guys have mentioned a lot of these. I got a couple to type on. Evil Dead Rise for me. I love the Evil Dead franchise, but I loved Evil Dead Rise. I expected to really like it, to be honest. So it's not much of a surprise. But yeah, definitely Evil Dead Rise. Still, for me, the Michael J. Fox documentary blew me away. That's in the top
Mhm.
5 of my year. I adore that movie. It's 90 minutes long. It's spectacular. The way it's made is some of the best documentary filmmaking I've ever seen.
Yeah.
There's a movie that you both haven't seen. I've seen this at Sydney Film Festival, and it's not out yet, I don't think. I just haven't been able to talk about it because these fucking strikes, but I'm talking about everything on this podcast. There's this movie called Late Night with the Devil. Have you heard about this?
I've seen a couple people log it now.
Yeah,
On my watch list.
I loved this movie. So this whole premise is it's the guy that's in every movie at the moment. David Dismalchian, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Dismount. Yeah, you know exactly who I mean.
Yeah.
So he this is all filmed in Australia, fun fact. But this whole premise is that he's like a late 70s talk show host. Like Jimmy Carlson. Jimmy Carlson, is that it? I'm not a American talk show host guy. Jimmy Carlson, like back that's like
Like Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah.
yeah. Like back in those days, is like that's who he's kind of up against. Is so this whole movie is basically is set as a documentary, so it's a mockumentary, and basically surrounds the last show that he ever did. And it's basically majority of the whole movie is shown as if you're watching an episode of one of those late night talk shows, which is awesome. And the whole premise is that he's bringing on this girl that is possessed by the devil or a demon. I can't remember exactly which one it is. It's all about just showing that off, and a lot of horror shit kind of happens around that. But the way it's made, of the whole thing, majority of the whole thing either being a documentary or as if you're watching a late night talk show, I thought was fascinating. The way that was made kind of made that like really eerie and real, and just like there's like it's hard to explain without seeing it, but there's like a lot of off-screen storytelling where like this person has a medical issue and he goes away, but then you keep getting updates about that person. It keeps getting worse and worse off screen. You don't see him, but even that, I love how some movies do that, because it kind of like the idea of it is even more terrifying than anything that they can show you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so definitely I went into this movie with knowing nothing, and this was my favorite that I saw next to Past Lives at Sydney Film Festival. So yeah, when it comes out, definitely see Late Night with the Devil. It is a hell of a lot of fun.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, I will jump in just a couple more here. Actually, Byron made me think of it while he was talking about No Hard Feelings, which I did enjoy. But I think Joyride, for me personally, was the
Nice.
funniest. It was my top like comedy of the year. Not by a lot, but I liked it a little bit more. I like the cast. I love Stephanie Shu and Ashley Park, and that movie was just so unexpected, very raunchy. I mean, apparently we're back with the raunchy comedies, especially with the female leads now. I'm really liking this genre. So I hope that we get more of this. And then also my only disappointing surprise was 65, and it
Damn
was
it, I
mostly
had that.
because how bad it was. I'm so, like, seriously still surprised how they could make a dinosaur movie with Adam Driver so horrendously bad.
Yeah.
It
I
actually
liked it.
pisses me off how they could make it so bad, and they have like this great premise and this great actor. So
Yeah.
that's my
That
only
was
real negative one.
the only one that I had as well that was like surprised that was negative because you read it out, it's like it's a Adam movie starring Adam Driver. Like what was the length of it? It was like, yeah, a movie starring Adam
90
Driver. It
minutes.
was 93 minutes long, and it's a sci-fi film that like you're not sure if it's back in time or not, where he's fighting off dinosaurs. And like that's gonna be a fun time. And nothing fucking happens in that fucking movie for like 80
There's so many
minutes.
plot holes. There's so many plot holes.
I
Remember the
will.
cave that he was in for a good hour? Like, how did he get out of that cave? He goes, "Oh, I just went to the other side." Like, what?
I will.
Adam, what are you doing?
I will say I did like reason I did somewhat like this movie, but this was before my Scream 6 screening, and I was so fucking tired that day,
You need to sleep
and
more, Byron.
and yeah,
Agreed.
yeah,
Take some melatonin.
um, damn you, oh no, I
This,
forgot.
this is before your Scream 6 screening, and you were really tired.
Oh yeah, yeah, I fell asleep like right at the end. And I was woken up by the um cinema
Oh,
worker.
sure. Nice. What did you give it out of 5?
Believe 3.
So you gave a movie 3 out of 5, but you fell asleep in it.
I fell asleep, I think, as the credits,
Okay,
like
that's fine.
as it was like panning out. I think I just went like this.
Yeah, right.
I gave it 1.5 stars.
Yeah.
Did not like it.
I think a lot of people did. I think a lot of people were around the 1.5 to 2.5.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, that wraps up our surprises of 2023. So now, Byron, you can go into your
Now
review for
we
us.
are yes. Now we are moving on to the main topic. The MCU has had a lot of drama over the last couple of days, and a lot of this news seemed to be dropped at the same time.
There's a lot of it's
Uh,
like before we say it, there's not much reporting here. It's all
no,
like it's all like a lot of
this
rumors
is all
and stuff, right?
speculation.
Yeah. So let's make that real evident.
Yes. Um, so I'm going to start off with what I think is, if this is true, this is the dumbest possible thing ever.
Yeah.
Uh, Sources say that there have been talks about bringing back the original Avengers for another movie, which would include reviving, they're not variants, reviving Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man and ScarJo's Black Widow. This is by far the dumbest possible thing that they could do.
Okay, sorry, continue.
Reviving Iron Man and Black Widow is fucking stupid. It completely ruins what Endgame did. Endgame is arguably the most important movie of the MCU, excluding maybe the first Avengers movie and the first Iron Man movie. But for me, this is clearly the dumbest. Like, just don't do it.
Okay,
I really don't think it's going to work in their favor at all.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. This is where this news I'm very very cautious of, because the person that would agree with way more than us is Kevin Feige. This comment, I think, was an offhanded comment in some boardroom, just being like they're just pitballing ideas, and it never went anywhere. And now people are basically reporting that they want to bring back everyone. I don't think this was a real fucking thing at all. I don't think that so people saying like Marvel wants to bring it all back. I really don't believe that it was anything more than just an offhanded comment in a boardroom, and it went nowhere after that.
So you don't think the MCU's in shambles, Harry?
Oh, the shambles! I straight up. To put this in perspective, 4 years ago we had Endgame. 4 years ago, Marvel put out a movie that was the biggest film of all time, and now we are here. My main problem with it is that they're producing way too much. That's my main problem, because there's a lot more quantity over quality at the moment.
Fatigue.
But after all this reports and news came out, the Echo trailer dropped, and I watched that, and I'm fucking excited for Echo. Echo looks great.
That was a damn good trailer.
But yeah, sorry, that was me kind of subjective. But that was just my opinion on I agree with you that that bringing back the original Avengers is a stupid idea. I don't think that was a real thing. I refuse to believe that Kevin Feige literally said, "Let's do this." I very much doubt that.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're right. I don't see a decision like that going through. I doubt he approves.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way he's like, that's really going to save it. Yeah, let's just revive.
I don't even think the actors would do it at this point, even if they asked them to. So I feel like they wouldn't even bother.
Yeah. Especially Jeremy Renner. He can't do it.
It would take an ungodly amount of money to get RDJ back.
Yeah.
Even if they wanted him to do a variant in Secret Wars, what did he get paid for Endgame? 70 mil?
Yeah, he won't do it. And ScarJo, I think she's already said publicly that she's done with the superhero movies and all of that.
I know that Chris Evans has been pretty vocal about it. I mean, when turning in movies like Ghosted, I would go back. I'm sorry, Chris Evans, you didn't deserve it.
I'm sure he got paid handsomely.
I know that he said he'd be willing to return if it made sense, which I don't think it. I don't think we need it. We don't need Chris Evans.
No, he's saying that for a paycheck. He'll return if he's getting paid $100 million.
If anything, bring him back as Johnny Storm in Secret Wars. That is completely fine. We don't need Captain America.
Yeah.
The Blade movie is. I'm going to be honest. I could see them canceling this movie.
Yeah, so that movie's gone through 2 directors, 5 writers, and a production shutdown. I don't care about this movie anymore at all.
Yeah. But it's really fucking unfortunate because when they announced this movie, I was so goddamn excited. We're talking Mahershala Ali as Blade in the MCU.
Yeah.
That is crazy, and the fact that now nobody cares because going through that many workers is insane. Mahershala Ali was reportedly ready to quit due to script issues. However, the one bit of good news that came out of this was Michael Green has reportedly been hired to write the script from scratch. Michael Green wrote Logan, which is one of the best superhero screenplays ever.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would doubt that. That's the only good news, but I don't see this movie. I don't see this movie happening, and if it does, I don't see it performing very well.
Michael Green also wrote A Haunting in Venice. Just putting that out there. So it's not.
Oh,
it's not bulletproof. It's not bulletproof.
Yes. But he can do the superhero space.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
Because of the Logan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because of the Logan.
Because of the Logan. I mean, I went to say Wolverine, and then I was just thinking about the poster, and I was just like, it's not called Wolverine, it's called Logan.
Yeah.
So I said
I think the
Logan.
problem, honestly, overall with Marvel in general, is that it's always going to be something people compare to the original, first 10 years that most people experienced. And so I feel like that's why you're going to always see people going crazy on the internet, MCUs in shambles. Like, you're always going to be comparing it. If you just treat every project like its own thing, which I think is impossible to do when there's still similar connections and overlaps, I think it can make it a little bit better. But like, I know for me personally, like, I'm a little bit older now. Like, I lived out that first 10 years and like loved all those films, enjoyed it. I'm kind of over it personally. So like, I don't see myself making time to like see every single new Marvel project. But it's unfortunate because I'm sure there will be some good ones, but people kind of tend to focus too much on the comparison, like always like, but we had this, so they've shown us they can be great. So why can't they keep doing that? It's like every franchise can't continue to put out the same level of quality every single project. That's just unrealistic.
Agreed.
Correct. I know that I think I'm in the right age range that I can watch, like, I can keep watching the movies. The shows are a little bit harder, but I just have that issue with television in general. They need to sort out a schedule on like what they're releasing. I want 1 to 2 movies a year. I think they would really benefit from that. It gives them time to actually write these movies to be good. Thor: Love and Thunder, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, they just didn't work, and I just think that's because they didn't have enough time to be focused on. They're like, we just got to get these movies out, and they ended up being the way they were. Although I didn't hate either of them, by the way.
Like, I agree with you. That is the perfect case scenario, but from a business standpoint, that means less money towards Disney. Yeah. So that will never happen.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because
I wholeheartedly agree.
They're going to ruin Marvel.
Longevity, it means a lot more Winter Soldiers, a lot more Guardians 3s, a lot. Yeah, but yeah.
I did see another rumor that Marvel are considering only making shows they're committed to for more than one season, which means they would more focus on like Loki, and I don't think they'd focus much on the She-Hulks of the world. Which is good because again, that just puts quantity down a little bit.
Yep.
And the last thing was the Jonathan Majors drama. Marvel have begun to reconsider focusing on Jonathan Majors' Kang for the next saga. They're now discussing backup plans, including pivoting completely and moving to Doctor Doom.
This is good. I'll do it. It's great. I love Doctor Doom. Do it. Just don't rush him, but do it. Okay.
Yeah. My only issue with this is it would feel really, really bad.
We don't know that. We don't know that until it's done. We don't know that.
If they went for that, and let's just say they scrapped Kang, you have how many shows and movies has Kang been focused, like, has been talked about or in? A decent handful of movies and stuff, and it would feel really weird if they're just like, Kang, who's that? Just I think recasting him is a 10,000th better idea than having another villain. And I'm no comic book wizard nerd. I don't think Doctor Doom is like Doctor Doom is no Thanos level threat, is he?
Yes, he is. He's fucking awesome.
Is he?
Yeah, he's great.
I know that he. Okay. I would like to see the character. I want him. Hopefully, he's in fantastic form. Please. He will be, but yeah, as Big Bad, I don't know if it'll work properly. But I don't think Marvel is necessarily in shambles. But if they go, if these things come out to be true, I'd be scared.
I think it's been in shambles for a while. I think it's been in shambles. Like they're just not making that much money anymore. Like the Marvels underwent 4 weeks of reshoots to quote bring coherence to a tangled storyline that cost them an extra $200 million. So this very much that's not going to make that movie's not going to make money. The movie's not making money.
It's crazy.
I liked Captain Marvel a lot more than most. I thought it was good. So like I just don't think this is making money. It is what it is. We'll see.
How much did Captain Marvel make? Do you know, roughly?
No idea. I'll look it up, but
I swear it made a lot.
maybe.
I mean, it was the first movie after Infinity War. No?
Um,
Yes?
yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know
sounds right.
if that's the reason that that's probably the reason why it made money. I didn't watch it in theaters. I couldn't give a shit. um, so I think that concludes the Marvel talk.
1.1 billion.
Yeah,
Wow.
okay.
But that's a
That was
different era. That was right after Infinity War.
Infinity
Like,
War. Yeah, people had to know what was going to happen next.
All right. Heads up, guys. We are about to hit 1 hour 30 minutes.
All right, we're gonna blitz through this trivia. Are you ready?
So
How are we answering?
yeah, are we doing? We're not doing writing. We're doing like we
We
buzz
do a hand
in.
raise?
If you're worried about the delay, then you'll have to write them down.
Nah, it's fine. I reckon we just buzz in, Ash, because the
If
hand
we just,
raises. Yeah.
hmm,
Oh, yeah, we could do that. Yeah, okay.
go old school?
Yeah, right.
All right,
So
so
you got to watch us, Byron. By the way,
Yeah, you gotta be
yeah,
looking
I
nice.
know. I'm gonna put my phone like here because I'm reading them off my phone.
are you good to keep score, or do you want me to?
I can keep score.
Okay.
I'll just put an H and A.
Good luck,
and then
Harry.
bang, one in the middle. This is the most random group of. They're not random questions, but it's a random group of questions.
Okay.
They're not categorized either. Question number 1. For what movie did Steven Spielberg win his first Oscar for Best Director? Harry.
Schindler's List.
That is correct.
Come on, come on! You want to mess with the warrior, Ash? You want to
I feel like you already had your hand up, like before you already knew before he even finished the
Yeah.
question.
So are we doing like we can put it up, or like we have to wait till he finishes
It's like-
the question?
Yeah, as soon as I said Steven Spielberg, Harris was like,
When you said Oscar, I was like Steven Spielberg. I'm like, yeah, no, which one? Yeah.
question number 2, because without this question,
we-
the thumbnail for this wouldn't make sense.
That's all good. Are we waiting for him to finish the question before he?
Yes.
I thought
Yes.
yeah, cool. Just to,
Yeah.
I agree. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, so without this question, the thumbnail for this segment wouldn't make any kind of sense. In the Matrix, does Neo take the blue pill or the red pill?
It's kind of
Harry?
It's kind of 50-50
I can't.
answer, right?
I can see Ash's like there's like a corner hand.
I'm freaking guessing myself.
Harry,
Red pill.
the red pill is correct.
It's a
Although
50-50.
I've always thought the blue one looked more appetizing.
Yeah.
I just like the color blue more.
The color is very
you know.
nice.
It's a fucking good blue.
When you grow up, you'll understand what blue pills are, Byron.
Fuck you. Sorry, that was unnecessary. Good joke, Harry.
Thanks, mate.
Question number 3. What gift does Rose find in her coat pocket at the end of Titanic? Harry,
Is it the necklace?
it is a necklace.
seen it.
She
Way
throws the
too long.
necklace into the ocean. Nice.
I'm horrible at trivia, by the way. Like that is a fact. Like I could literally probably have these conversations with people and get these answers right, but on the spot, I'm like, ooh,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
the pressure gets to you. I started.
I thought honestly when I said the Matrix question, I expected Harry to instantly know, and then he started guessing himself. I was like, "Oh shit!"
But yeah, I second guessed myself with them.
Yeah.
that one.
The Matrix is one of your favorite movies, man.
It is, but it is. I watch a lot of movies, Bar.
This is a random question. Question number 5. What kind of breakfast does Donkey want to make Shrek in Shrek? Ash?
Waffles?
Waffles is correct.
I'm making waffles.
So I
Damn,
might have to
Watch the
rewatch
Bananas,
Shrek.
Oh, Shrek 2 is the best.
It's been too long since I've seen either of them.
Yeah, they're great. Nice.
Agreed.
Next question.
35, wow.
Which actress plays the leading role in The Silence of the Lambs? Harry.
Jodie motherfucking Foster.
That one was just who could get their hand up first.
Yeah.
Harry probably had
Seems
that.
too good to be true that it was that easy. So I was like,
Ash was about maybe like a second later. So if there's a delay,
Yeah.
it would have been simultaneous. Name the movie that this quote comes from. You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I feel like that was
Harry?
me.
Eh,
Mm,
I reckon that's a
okay.
draw.
I will go with a draw.
Wait. If we both
I'll
get it
give you,
right,
but I'll give
wait.
you.
We got to say it on
Say it on
the.
three.
Yeah.
Say it on three, and I'll give you both
One,
points.
2, 3. Jaws.
Jaws.
Oh,
Both
we did
yeah,
not say it
yeah.
at the same time, but
But-
we
Harry, did
got
you
it.
just say that with an American accent?
Jaws.
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 That's like Brooklyn. Jaws.
Jaws.
Jaws. Um, who plays Emma Stone's father in Crazy Stupid Love?
Oh,
Ash.
good.
Steve Carell.
Nice.
Steve Carell is correct. It's so funny to me.
For
I
some
love that
reason,
movie.
when you said Emma Stone, I was thinking Easy A, and then so in case I just had to, yeah,
I think Stanley Tucci plays her dad in that
Yeah.
movie.
great. There's a great fucking parent in that. I love Stanley Tucci. Shout out.
Apologies because I didn't check if both of you have seen it, but I hope you have. Which Richard Linklater movie was filmed with the same cast over the course of 12 years? Harry.
Boyhood.
Boyhood is correct, yes.
To me, it looks like I'm having mine up first, but I think because you guys are closer in location to each other, I wonder if connection
Don't
wise.
don't worry. If I see, even if like Harry's like is like us,
Okay, with
I-
your mustache.
I'm gonna
grab,
say
get out of here.
I'm gonna say draw.
Well, on because I'm recording my screen, so I'll be like, sorry, continue.
When was the first Star Wars movie released? Harry.
1977.
Almost said I was thinking 6 at first, and I was like, wait, no,
I
that's not right.
don't know what it is. I never if I think like 70s, I never think of Star Wars.
The
I
main,
always feel like
I can give you every year of the Skywalker saga.
oh, I bet you can.
Thank you.
Okay, you don't need to flex here, Harry. You're already gonna win. Okay.
How many Infinity Stones are there? I will give you a bonus point if you can name them.
You go ahead.
Ash.
There's 5. Soul, power. Oh my god. I'm blanking. I'm like thinking of all the colors. Can I get just my 2 bonus points and be done?
So
Can I steal some of those bonus points? Or?
you can
Power.
steal them.
Soul, time.
You're going well. That's pretty good.
What is the I'm blanking on the red one. That's all I got right now. I'm sorry.
I reckon that's good enough.
Pointed to myself.
I'm gonna give you a bonus point. There's actually 6.
So she doesn't get the point?
Oh,
I'm
I got it
gonna-
wrong.
I'm-
I got it wrong.
I'm gonna give you half a point. I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna give you
Oh, that's
half
right,
a
'cause
point
there's
because
5 and then the main
you
one,
did
so.
name the majority. Yeah, so the answer is space, reality, power, time, soul, and mind.
I was getting mind and soul like mixed together. That's why I think I said 5.
Yeah. Nice.
This
Nice.
one,
I was thinking 5 as well, to be honest. So.
Yeah. This one, yeah, because when you think of the gauntlet,
But there's the main one on the
five people forget about. What's the one in the middle? The yellow one?
Mind.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one he gets from Vision.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. This one might stump you. What's the least expensive movie to earn over $1 billion?
For $1 billion.
$1 billion. I will give you a hint if within the next like 10 seconds.
If you guess, can you no longer guess if you get it wrong?
If you guess and get it wrong, the other person just might as well throw a guess out there.
Okay, so I'll wait for a hint because I've got an idea.
I don't even know what direction to go as far as like year or decade or anything.
It is a psychological thriller
Okay, I was glad I didn't go that
slash crime slash
way. Oh,
Harry
Joker?
Joker.
I would not have gotten that.
Speaking of sequels, fuck yeah, let's go Joker sequel. Uh, what Hollywood movie star plays himself in Zombieland?
Bill Murray.
Harry? Bill
Oh,
Murray.
Bill motherfucking Murray.
Bill
Poor,
motherfucking
I was
Murray.
thinking of the main cast at first, and I was
yeah.
like, wait, hold
Poor
on.
Bill Murray. Jesse Eisenberg clotters the motherfucker.
How many more questions are there?
2 more.
Okay, I definitely lost.
Who is the only actor to receive an Oscar nomination for an acting role in The Lord of the Rings?
Was
Harry?
Was it Sir Ian McClellan?
Yes,
Oh.
it is indeed.
I was like, who else would it be? Sure, I tell you what.
Yeah, because when you think of
Andy
when you think
Serkis
of,
deserves one.
I
fair
agree.
enough.
I agree. And last question. Which movie was incorrectly announced as the winner for Best Picture at the 2017 Academy Awards?
You can take it, Ashley. Like, I hate
Was
that.
this
This is
the
so...
La La Land debacle or no? Yeah,
It was the what a disaster, by the way.
I had a parlay on this, betting
What
wise,
an
and
absolute disaster.
I had La La Land to win. So for a good 5 minutes, I thought I won a lot of money. And then,
that's unfortunate.
yeah, here's what it is.
I'm so curious how many points I did get, even though I know I lost.
Did you want me to say?
Yeah, I'm curious.
4.5.
I'll take it.
Harry
Straight F, but I'll take it.
is I have to start calling Harry like the trivia wizard or something.
Yeah, we have guests something.
Harry finished on 10.
Harry, you seem like
right
one of those people
right
to
on.
me that just has useless knowledge all the time. Like, I want you on my team if I'm doing trivia at one of those like pubs or pub trivias.
Hell yeah.
You just have all that random knowledge, even non-movie. I guarantee you're probably still good at trivia.
Well, in Australia, pub trivia is huge. It's a huge thing, so we do it every week.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah. Nice.
I'll win eventually.
it's big here too, just in the right areas.
Yeah, nice. Nice one.
Well, that wraps up episode 4 of the Love, Death, and Movies podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify and rate us 5 stars if you do not mind. Subscribe to the YouTube. Follow us on Apple Music. We're available on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, aka X. I'm going to call it Twitter because X is stupid. And I believe that is all we have. So we will see you next week for episode 5.